Guys, so today I am starting my YouTube channel, which I am super excited. It's going to be called The Life of Ivy Forero because the life of Ivy was already taken, so we're gonna go with my full name. And when I was thinking about what episode I want to create today, I have been thinking a lot about relationships as mirrors, whether it's romantic relationship, whether it's friendships, whether it's even the own relationships that we have with family members. Every relationship seems to have some sort of medicine in it, and it's a mirror. And I know a lot of times through our relationships, there can be a lot of things that are triggering and wounds that can get activated. And for the past year, I would say I have gone through a big transformation because of a relationship that I had last year. That it was, in many ways, it was amazing, but in many ways, it also opened up a lot of wounds that I didn't know I had that were so deep. So last year, I dated this person that it became to be an incredible mirror of who I was and who I thought I was, right? So to give you guys context, I met this person during a period of my life that I had a lot of uncertainty because I had lost my job. And actually, we were friends before than that, and then we started dating. But when I started dating, I had lost my job. So I was in a situation that I had only so much capacity because I was trying to find my next path, right? And because I am a mother, there is so much more pressure to provide and to be able to make sure that I can provide safety for my son and myself. And I went into a relationship knowing that I had a lot of other things that I needed to focus on. And so coming into the relationship, it taught me many incredible things. I think one of them that it made me realize is that I felt so seen by somebody, which is something I had not felt in a very, very long time. So I felt really seen. And I think because I felt so seen, I deeply attached myself to this person. I also put this person in a pedestal. So around this, what it really taught me is around, dating people, whether they see you, it's kind of like, wow, it opens up a different spectrum of you seeing yourself, because the real medicine is that if you don't see yourself, then how do you expect other people to notice you and to see you and to recognize you? And I think this relationship was a big mirror for me to be able to recognize myself, so that way I am not seeking validation from other people, or I'm not looking to be recognized from other people. And the biggest wound that it opened up for me, it was a really, really deep one, was around abandonment that I had felt when I was a little girl, around wanting validation, wanting to be seen. And so for me, there were a lot of things. I am a huge believer to believe that whatever we put our mind to, we create. And I'm a huge believer in the philosophy of that we are constantly creating with our reality, and sometimes we mirror, or actually not sometimes, all the time, we are creating our reality, and our thoughts mirror in the physical form, right? So in this particular relationship, because I have this abandonment wound, it even represented itself even more with this person, right? By certain acts that he did, that I felt extremely abandoned and I felt extremely unsafe. But the reality here is that it wasn't really his job to make me feel not abandoned or not unsafe. Of course, there were many things that I think could have been handled a little better. But in reality, all of these wounds were triggered because I needed to see where I have not been healed already and where I needed to do more work. And as uncomfortable and as painful it was, this relationship, it provided the biggest medicine ever for me, because the pain was so deep that after I walked away from that relationship, I felt where there was so much chemistry, chaos, love, but chaos, and so much pull and push. I walked away thinking, what in me attracted a relationship like that? Like, what in me, or how many times did I self abandon myself in this relationship for me to stay all this time, right? And how many times did I actually shrunk to fit in into the box that he wanted to be me to be in? And don't get me wrong, this person is amazing. I have a really a special place in my heart for him, because he taught me so many things and he exposed me to so much knowledge, and he exposed me to a lot of things that I needed to see. At the end of the day, is my own medicine, and I'm sure he also got his own medicine from how much I triggered him in several things, right? But going back to the relationship itself, for me, it was such a profound journey that I have gone through these past few months and up to the year, because when I walk away from that relationship, I went deep. I was like, I wanted to know, like, I'm like, wait a minute, like what? Because in that relationship I was really anxious, and I was like, I was thinking I was secure before, but then this relationship triggered a lot of anxiety in me. And so what I really wanted to understand is, a, hold myself with compassion and be like, it's okay that you went through that, and let's acknowledge the pain, but also let's try to find out, where do you need to love your inner child more, right? Because if I had if I had a daughter, I wouldn't allow her to, go through certain situations that diminishes her, right? So it was all about, like, I went really deep into this work of inner child, like, where am I self-abandonment, abandoning myself, where am I shrinking just to fit in? And I'm glad to say I made it in the other side. But the interesting thing is that this whole relationship was a catalyst for me to break free from so many wounds and so many old stories and so many old patterns that I had in regards to relationship, in regards to giving away my time to a man, in regards to seeking validation from a man, in regards to my childhood and the wounds that I had because I grew up without a dad and with a mother that was very not present in many times in my life. And so I went so deep in the shadows of the darkest moments in my life to really pull away what was not serving me and to let go of these old stories, right? And let go of all of the things that made me felt like I needed to become somebody else, or that I wasn't worthy of love, or that I needed to, every man that I met, that I needed them to choose me, and I gotta overachieve and show him that I'm incredible, so then he won't leave me and he chooses me. And I have gone through all of the deconstruction of all of these ideas that I used to have, and all of these identities that essentially we built around all stories and all experiences. And I don't think it's not really about not acknowledging that we all go through things and that life is not perfect, so there's going to be ups and downs, but it's more so about breaking away from these stories that are not really supporting you. And because we're stuck with these same stories, it is more likely that your future is going to be predictable based on these stories that you continue to tell yourself, right? If you don't change the way you think, then your thoughts determine your future and your destiny. So therefore, it was really important for me to really find out where in myself did I needed more healing. And here we are. I'm glad to say I am doing really well. I mean, there's times that I still think about this person, and there's so much like love and compassion and gratitude that I have for how much of a mirror this person was to me. And this is why, when I think about it, it was such a stubborn love. I don't know if you guys know the song from the Lumineers, A Stubborn Love. I think that's the name. Yeah. And I was listening to it before I jumped on to record this, and I told myself, I'm like, I'm gonna talk about this. Because it was such a stubborn love. Even when I walked away from the relationship, I was like really chemically bonded, and I wasn't able to like disattach that easily. And yeah, it was a very interesting journey, and many lessons that were learned. And every time I look at my past relationships, let's say romantically, they have really shown me a mirror of myself, of where I was in my life at that moment, and where I needed more healing, where I needed to go deeper into loving myself more. So overall, I would say every relationship is a mirror and is a catalyst, it's an opportunity for you to go deeper and not really blame the other person for making you feel a certain way or for their pain. Of course, obviously, I believe that people could they have a free will, right? And there's a right way of doing things and whatnot. But I think at the end of the day, we can only focus on what we can control, and the only aspect that we can control is the aspect of how things affect us and how we allow things to happen to us. We cannot control the other person. So for me, relationships are a mirror, and I take full responsibility of what I co-created with that person, because I was a part of it. And I walk away with that, with knowing that it serves that person, it's on purpose, and it's serving me. And I'd rather look within and see how I can work with myself to be able to attract a healthier relationship, but most importantly, feel secure, feel self-sourced, feel self-validated, feel in my personal power, feel already 100% completed. So when I'm out there looking for my person or trying to bring them in, I'm not doing so from the point of being in lack and wanting this person to complete me. Because if I'm honest, when I met this person, I was in a lot of lack and a lot of unworthiness. And this is why I believe we also enter patterns of unhealthy relationships in this when we're looking for the other person to complete us. So that's it. That is the first episode of what I would like to call, okay, this is the name of the channel, Life of Ivy, Discovering What's Possible, Experimenting with AI, and Raising a Human, which is my son that I love so very much. Anyways, have a blessed day, guys.